Family excluded me from Christmas because it's no place for losers, my sister said. I quietly agreed, cut off support for her kids and husband. Then now, she's losing her mind and that phone call landed like a punch to the gut. It wasn't just a voice on the other end, it was my own sister, Chloe, delivering a betrayal that would unravel everything I thought I knew about family. It was December 3rd, and I was reviewing quarterly reports in my home office, the low hum of my computer the only sound. Chloe's number flashed across the screen. It was unusual, we usually just texted. Hey, so about Christmas this year, she started, no hello, no preamble. That strange cheerfulness in her voice, the one she used right before dropping bad news, was impossible to miss. Mom and I were talking, and we think it might be better if you skip the family gathering this time. My hand froze on my pen. Skip Christmas? What was she even talking about? There was a long sigh on her end. Look, Sarah, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Nobody wants to spend the holidays listening to you talk about your sad little life. You're 34, single, no kids, working some boring job nobody understands. It's depressing. Christmas is supposed to be joyful, you know? It's no place for losers. The word losers hit me like a physical slap. My own sister. My own flesh and blood had just called me a loser. Alex and I have worked really hard to create a beautiful life for our kids, she continued, her voice growing bolder, more confident. Ethan and Mia deserve a magical Christmas without any negative energy. And honestly, what would you even contribute? You don't have kids to buy presents for. You don't have a husband to bring. You'd just be sitting there alone while the rest of us enjoy our families. My hands went completely numb. Chloe, I managed, my voice barely a whisper, I've never missed a family Christmas. Well, maybe that's the problem. Maybe you need to start your own traditions instead of leeching off ours. I mean, what if you really added to our celebrations? You show up, eat the food, exchange some gifts, and leave. It's not like you're essential to the day. I could hear Ethan chattering excitedly in the background, probably about the holidays. The same Ethan whose sterling prep tuition I'd been paying for the past 3 years. Is Mom okay with this? I asked, a cold dread starting to spread. It was partially her idea, Chloe said, and I swear I could hear the shrug in her voice. She said you seemed really mopey lately and might bring down the mood. Plus, we're doing family photos this year, and it would be weird to have you in them when you're not even part of a complete family unit. Something truly glacial settled in my chest. I see. I knew you'd understand. You've always been so logical about things. That's probably why you ended up in finance instead of doing something more personable. Anyway, I have to go. Mia has ballet. Bye. She hung up before I could even process it. I sat there in my home office, surrounded by my Yale law degrees, my CPA certifications, the awards for my work as a senior partner at Morrison & Associates, one of the top corporate law and financial advisory firms in Austin. My boring job nobody understands specialized in corporate restructuring and financial consulting, work that had made me a millionaire by 30. And suddenly, everything clicked into place with perfect, crystalline clarity. 3 years ago, Chloe's husband, Alex, had started a boutique marketing agency. It immediately started hemorrhaging money. He'd come to me in a panic, explaining they'd maxed out their credit cards, taken out a second mortgage. They were about to lose everything. Could I help, just until the business got on its feet? I'd written a check for $50,000. 6 months later, they needed another $40,000, then $20,000, then smaller amounts that just added up, $10,000 here, $15,000 there. I'd stopped counting after the first year. When Ethan started having behavioral issues, Chloe had insisted he needed to attend Sterling Prep, a private school specializing in children with ADHD. Tuition, $38,000 per year. Their insurance didn't cover it, and they were still drowning in debt. I'd set up an automatic monthly transfer to cover 2 years of his middle school education. Mia's ballet lessons at Elite Dance Studio? I paid for those, $200 per week. Alex's business networking club, $5,000 annually? My credit card. The family vacation to Universal Studios last summer, where they generously allowed me to tag along? I covered everyone's tickets, hotel, and meals, $12,000. Their mortgage payment, when Alex's business had a particularly bad quarter. I had quietly paid it for 4 months straight, $3,200 each month. I opened my laptop and pulled up my banking records. I wanted the exact numbers. Over the past 3 years, I had given or loaned my sister's family $287,000. Not a single penny had been paid back. In fact, Chloe had never even acknowledged these transfers as loans. In her mind, I was just helping out family, which apparently I was expected to do because I was single and childless and therefore had nothing better to do with my money. I created a spreadsheet documenting every transaction with dates and amounts. Then I drafted an email. Dear Chloe, I wrote. Thank you for your honesty about Christmas. You're absolutely right that I should focus on my own life rather than involving myself in yours. To that end, I'll be discontinuing all financial support effective immediately. I've attached a detailed record of all funds provided over the past 3 years for your reference. I won't be attending any future family events, as I don't want my loser energy affecting your perfect family. Best wishes, Sarah. I stared at the email for a full minute before hitting send. Then I logged into my bank account and canceled every automatic transfer. The school tuition, the ballet lessons, the monthly emergency fund I'd set up that Chloe dipped into whenever she wanted. My phone rang 30 minutes later. Chloe. I let it go to voicemail. She called again. And again. By the evening, I had 17 missed calls and a string of increasingly frantic text messages. Sarah, we need to talk about that email. I think there's been a misunderstanding. Please call me back. This is important. Then, Sterling Prep just contacted me about an overdue tuition payment. Sarah, this isn't funny. Mom is really upset that you're being so dramatic. I didn't respond to any of them. The next morning, my mother called. I answered, curious to hear how she'd spin this. Sarah Marie, what is this nonsense about you not coming to Christmas? I was uninvited, Mom. Chloe made it very clear that I'm not welcome. She didn't mean it like that. You know how she gets. She just speaks without thinking. You're being overly sensitive. She called me a loser and said I had nothing to contribute to the family. There was a pause. Well, she's under a lot of stress. Alex's business is struggling, and money is tight. You know how that can make people say things they don't mean. So, you did know about the financial problems. Of course, I knew. I'm their mother. But that's what family does, Sarah. We help each other. Interesting, I said. Because when I needed help moving last year, nobody was available. When I had that health scare and needed someone to drive me to appointments, everyone was too busy. But when it comes to money, suddenly family is everything. That's different. How is it different? You're being deliberately difficult. Look, whatever Chloe said, she's sorry. Just come to Christmas and we can all move past this. Did she tell you she uninvited me, or did she only mention it after I sent that email about stopping the financial support? Silence. That's what I thought, I said. I'll pass on Christmas. You all enjoy your celebration. If you don't come to Christmas, don't expect to be welcomed back, my mother said, her voice sharp. You're choosing money over family. No, Mom. You're choosing money over me. I'm just refusing to be an ATM anymore. I hung up. The texts from Chloe became increasingly desperate over the following days. The ballet academy won't let Mia attend without payment. Do you know what you're doing to your niece and nephew? Alex is furious with you. We're going to lose the house. You're ruining Christmas for everyone. How can you be so selfish? That last one made me laugh out loud. I was selfish for refusing to bankroll their lifestyle, but they weren't selfish for expecting it. Christmas came and went. I spent it at a luxury spa resort in Portugal, getting massages and drinking expensive wine. I posted photos on social media of the snow-covered mountains and my peaceful solo dinners. I looked happy, because I was. Chloe's Facebook was a carefully curated display of Christmas morning joy. Designer gifts under a professionally decorated tree. Ethan and Mia in matching pajamas. The caption read, "Blessed beyond measure with my perfect family." Some people choose money over love, but we choose each other. Merry Christmas from the Hendersons. The passive aggression was almost admirable. January brought new messages. Sterling Prep is saying they're going to expel Ethan if we don't pay. The bank called about the mortgage. We had to cancel Mia's ballet. Mom had to lend us money, and she's not happy about it. Alex says you're dead to him. Fine, be that way. We don't need you anyway. February was quieter, but March brought an interesting development. My mother called, her voice strained. "Sarah, your sister needs help. Real help. They're about to lose the house." That's unfortunate. Unfortunate? They have children. Your niece and nephew are going to be homeless because you're holding a grudge. I'm not holding a grudge, Mom. I simply stopped providing financial support to adults who are capable of supporting themselves. Alex's business is failing. They can't make the mortgage payments. Then perhaps they should sell the house and find something more affordable. Plenty of families downsize. In this market, they'll lose everything. They're already losing everything. The difference is whether they do it now on their terms or later on the bank's terms. I can't believe how cold you've become. I learned from the best, I said, and ended the call. In April, I received an email from Alex. It was the first time he'd contacted me directly. "Sarah, I'm reaching out man to man here. Woman to man, whatever. I know you and Chloe had some kind of fight, but this has gone on long enough. We're drowning. The business is failing. We're 3 months behind on the mortgage, and my kids are suffering because their aunt decided to throw a tantrum. I'm asking you as family to reconsider. We need $50,000 to catch up on everything and get back on track. I swear we'll pay you back this time." I didn't bother responding. May brought a certified letter from a law firm. Chloe and Alex were suing me for the money I'd promised to continue providing. According to their lawyer, I had created a verbal contract through my consistent financial support, and they had relied on the support to their detriment. They were seeking damages for emotional distress and financial hardship. I forwarded the letter to my own attorney, who called me an hour later, laughing. "They don't have a case," Richard assured me. "Gifts are not contracts. Unless you sign something promising continued support, they have nothing." I never signed anything. Then this is just harassment. I'll send a response making that clear. Honestly, I'm surprised their attorney even took this case. They must have shopped around until they found someone desperate enough to file it, or they didn't disclose the full situation. 2 weeks later, Richard called again. They dropped it. My guess is their lawyer finally explained they were wasting everyone's time after billing them $4,000. June 2024 was graduation season. Ethan should have been finishing 8th grade at Sterling Prep, except he wasn't, because they'd been forced to withdraw him in January after 1 semester of unpaid tuition. He'd been enrolled in public school, which, according to Chloe's anguished texts, was ruining his future. He's falling behind. The teachers don't understand his needs. He's miserable. Is this what you wanted? To destroy a child's education? I wanted to text back, no. What I'd wanted was to spend Christmas with my family without being called a loser. What I'd wanted was for my financial contributions to be appreciated rather than expected. What I'd wanted was for my sister to see me as a human being rather than a bank account. Instead, I blocked her number. What Chloe didn't know was that I'd been in contact with Sterling Prep's director, Mrs. Davies, before they'd withdrawn Ethan. She called me directly when the tuition payment stopped, confused because I'd always been so reliable. "Miss Patterson, I wanted to reach out personally before we proceed with any official actions," she'd said. "Is everything all right? This is very unlike you." I'd explained the situation, not in detail, but enough. I told her that I would no longer be responsible for Ethan's tuition and that his parents would need to make their own arrangements. "I understand," Mrs. Davies had said carefully. "May I ask, has Ethan's family been made aware of how much you've been contributing?" "They know I paid the tuition. I don't think they understand how much it actually costs, though. My sister mentioned once that she thought I got some kind of family discount through a connection at the school." There had been a long pause. "There is no family discount, Miss Patterson. And I want you to know that what you did for your nephew these past 2 years was extraordinary. Very few people would make that kind of sacrifice for a child who isn't their own. He's still my nephew. I love him. This isn't about him. I understand that, too. For what it's worth, Ethan is a bright boy. He'll succeed wherever he goes, with or without Sterling Prep's name on his transcript. You gave him a foundation. The rest is up to him and his parents." That conversation had stayed with me. It confirmed something I'd been feeling but hadn't fully articulated. I hadn't failed Ethan by stopping the payments. His parents had failed him by never planning for how to sustain his education themselves. The week after I blocked Chloe's number, I received a Facebook message from an old friend of hers, someone named Nicole, who I'd met a few times at birthday parties. "Hey, Sarah, I hope it's okay that I'm reaching out. Chloe has been posting a lot about family drama lately, and I wanted to hear your side of things. We've been friends since high school, but some of her stories aren't adding up. She told us you cut her off financially because she didn't invite you to one Christmas party. That seems extreme, so I figured there's more to it." I debated whether to respond. Getting into the details with Chloe's friend felt petty, but something about Nicole's message seemed genuine, and I was tired of being painted as the villain. "It's more complicated than that," I wrote back. But the short version is I supported my sister's family financially for 3 years, to the tune of nearly $300,000. When she uninvited me from Christmas and called me a loser who had nothing to contribute to the family, I realized I was being used. I stopped the financial support. Everything that's happened since has been a consequence of them living beyond their means, which they were only able to do because I was subsidizing their lifestyle. Nicole's response came quickly. "Holy $300,000. Sarah, I had no idea. Chloe told everyone she was just getting by on Alex's income and some help from your mom. She never mentioned you were basically funding their entire life. She probably didn't see it that way. To her, I was just helping out family. The money was never acknowledged as significant. That's insane. Listen, I'm not going to share this with anyone because it's not my business. But I wanted you to know that some of us suspected Chloe wasn't telling the whole truth. She has a pattern of this. Honestly, always the victim, never responsible for anything that goes wrong. I'm sorry she treated you that way. Thanks for reaching out, Nicole. It means more than you know." That exchange lifted something off my chest. I hadn't realized how much I'd internalized the idea that I was the bad guy until someone from Chloe's own circle validated my perspective. Around the same time, I started seeing a therapist. Not because I thought I'd done anything wrong, but because I wanted to process the loss of my family relationship in a healthy way. Dr. Miller was a no-nonsense woman in her 50s who specialized in family dynamics. Tell me, she said during our third session, when was the last time you felt genuinely valued by your family? Not needed, not useful, valued. I sat with that question for a long time. I don't know if I ever have been. Expand on that. My parents always praised Chloe for being social and warm and good with people. I was the quiet one, the serious one. I got good grades, went to a good school, built a successful career. But none of that impressed them the way Chloe's ability to throw a nice dinner party did. When I could finally afford to help them financially, that became my role, the provider, the safety net. But me, as a person? I don't think they've ever been particularly interested. And yet you continued providing because that's what family does, right? You help each other. Help is reciprocal, Sarah. What you're describing is a one-way transaction. You gave, they took, and when you stopped giving, they didn't want you around anymore. That's not family. That's exploitation with a biological component. Hearing it stated so bluntly made me cry. Not sad tears, but relieved ones. Someone with credentials and experience was confirming that I wasn't crazy, wasn't cruel, wasn't wrong. So, what do I do now? I'd asked. You keep doing exactly what you're doing. You maintain your boundaries. You build a life that fulfills you. And you stay open to the possibility that someday some of these relationships might be repaired, but only if the other parties are willing to do their own work. You can't fix people who don't want to be fixed. Those sessions became my anchor through the chaos of the following months. July brought the inevitable. Chloe and Alex's house went into foreclosure. They'd apparently been trying to negotiate with the bank, but without any ability to catch up on the missed payments, there was nothing to negotiate. My mother called, crying. They're moving in with me. All 4 of them. My 3-bedroom condo. Sarah, please, if you care about me at all, help them get back on their feet. How much have you given them, Mom? That's not your concern. You've been helping them for months, haven't you? Covering their expenses, paying for groceries, probably slipping Chloe cash whenever she asks. And now they're moving in with you, and you're realizing that they're never going to get back on their feet because they've never had to. There's always been someone to catch them. You could catch them now. No, I couldn't, because catching them means they never learn to stand on their own. You're punishing children for their mother's mistakes. I'm allowing consequences to teach a lesson that kindness never could. And those children have 2 parents who need to figure out how to be adults. Don't call me again unless you're ready to apologize. My mother snapped, I won't be calling. I said, good, and hung up. August was quiet. I took a vacation to Portugal. I got a promotion at work. I started dating someone I'd met at a conference. Life was good. September brought a friend request on Facebook from Ethan. He was 14 now, old enough for his own account, apparently. I accepted, curious. He sent me a message almost immediately. Aunt Sarah, I know you and Mom aren't talking, but I wanted to say thank you for paying for Sterling. I didn't understand what was happening at the time, but Mom told me later that you were the one who made it possible for me to go there. Those 2 years really helped me. I'm doing okay at public school now. The teachers are actually pretty good. I'm in all honors classes. Just wanted you to know that your help mattered, even if things are weird now. Love, Ethan. I stared at that message for a long time. This was what hurt the most, knowing that the kids were caught in the middle of adult dysfunction. I wrote back, Ethan, I'm proud of you for doing well in school. You're a smart kid, and you're going to succeed wherever you are because of who you are, not because of what school you attend. Keep working hard. Love, Aunt Sarah. October brought the post I'd been half expecting. Chloe's Facebook status read, when family abandons you in your darkest hour, you find out who your real friends are. Some people care more about money than blood. Some people would rather see children suffer than admit they were wrong. But we're survivors. We're stronger than ever. And we don't need toxic people in our lives, no matter what DNA says. The comments were full of supportive friends who had no idea what had actually happened. You're so strong. Family should always come first. Some people have no compassion. I didn't comment. I didn't need to defend myself to strangers. But one of my cousins, Mark, did comment, maybe there's more to the story than you're sharing, Chloe. Just a thought. Chloe deleted his comment within minutes. November brought an unexpected phone call from Alex. I'd never blocked his number because he rarely used it. Sarah, his voice was tired. I'm not calling to ask for money. Good, because the answer would be no. I know. I'm calling because I owe you an apology. I've been doing a lot of thinking since we lost the house. And I've come to realize some uncomfortable truths about myself and my marriage. I waited. Chloe and I enabled each other. She spent money to feel successful, and I let her because I felt guilty about the business failing. Every time we ran into trouble, there was always someone to bail us out. First my parents, then yours, then you. We never had to face the real consequences of our choices because someone always caught us. And when you stopped catching us, we blamed you instead of looking at ourselves. I appreciate you saying that. The thing is, living with your mother has been hell. Not because she's a bad person, but because she's enabling Chloe the same way everyone always has. She's covering expenses, watching the kids so Chloe can go to lunch with friends, making excuses for why Chloe and I can't find better jobs. We're all crammed into a 3-bedroom condo, miserable, and nothing is changing because nothing has to change. So, what are you going to do? I'm filing for separation and starting divorce proceedings. It'll take months to finalize, but I need to start the process now. That surprised me. Really? I can't do this anymore. I've been looking for full-time work, real work, and I found a position managing social media for a manufacturing company. It's not glamorous, but it's stable, and it has benefits. The problem is, it's in Ohio. Chloe refuses to even consider moving. She says she'd rather stay here with her mother than leave Austin. So that's it. I'm taking the job, moving out, and starting the separation process. What about Ethan and Mia? That's the hardest part. We're working out a temporary custody arrangement while the divorce goes through. Chloe will have them during the school year since I'm moving out of state, and I'll have them summers and holidays once everything is finalized. It's not ideal, but it's better than staying in this toxic situation. For what it's worth, I think you're making the right choice. I know I have no right to ask anything of you, but would you consider maintaining some kind of relationship with Ethan and Mia? They've lost a lot this year, and they're going to lose more when I leave. They don't need to lose their aunt, too. I never wanted to lose them, Alex. I just couldn't keep enabling their parents. I understand that now. Anyway, I should go. Take care of yourself, Sarah. You, too. December arrived, bringing another Christmas I wasn't invited to. I didn't mind. I'd made plans with friends, people who actually valued my company. On December 20th, 2024, I received a text from an unknown number. This is Chloe. I'm using Mom's phone because I know you blocked me. I need to talk to you. Please, not about money. I promise. I just need to talk. Against my better judgment, I called the number. Chloe answered on the first ring. Sarah, thank you for calling. You have 5 minutes. Alex left me. Her voice cracked. He took a job in Ohio and moved out, and we're separating, and he's taking the kids for Christmas, and I'm alone. I'm sorry you're going through that. Are you? Because this is what you wanted, isn't it? You wanted me to suffer. No, Chloe. I wanted you to see me as a person instead of a resource. I wanted to be valued for more than what I could provide financially. And when you made it clear that you didn't value me at all, I chose to step back. I didn't mean what I said about Christmas. I was stressed and I took it out on you. You called me a loser. You said I had nothing to contribute to the family. You said my presence would bring negative energy. Those aren't things you say when you're stressed. Those are things you say when you genuinely believe them. I don't believe them. You did that day, and probably for a long time before that day. You just finally said it out loud. There was a long silence. I'm losing everything, Chloe finally whispered. My house, my marriage, my kids half the time once the divorce is final. My friends are drifting away because I can't afford to do the things they do anymore. Mom is getting tired of supporting me. I have nothing. Then maybe it's time to build something real instead of maintaining an illusion. How? I don't even know where to start. You start by getting a job. A real job, not some part-time thing while you wait for life to go back to how it was. You start by creating a budget and sticking to it. You start by taking responsibility for your own life instead of expecting other people to fund it. I don't know if I can do that. Then you'll keep losing things until you figure it out. But either way, Chloe, I can't save you. Nobody can save you except yourself. Do you hate me? The question caught me off guard. Did I hate her? I thought about it carefully. No, I said finally. I don't hate you, but I don't trust you either. And I don't like who you've become. Maybe someday that will change. Maybe you'll do the work to become someone worth having a relationship with. But that's on you, not me. Will you come to Christmas? No. Will you ever come to Christmas again? I don't know. Maybe someday, but not this year, and probably not next year. You hurt me, Chloe. You hurt me badly. And then you spent months trying to manipulate me into fixing problems you created. That's not something I can just forgive because you're suddenly sorry. I really am sorry. I believe you're sorry things didn't work out the way you wanted. I'm less convinced you're sorry about how you treated me. She was crying now, soft sobs that she was trying to muffle. A part of me felt bad for her, but a larger part of me remembered sitting in my office, hearing my own sister call me a loser and uninvite me from Christmas. And that part didn't feel bad at all. I need to go, I said. I hope you figure things out, Chloe. I really do, but I can't be part of that process. I ended the call and blocked my mother's number, too. Christmas Day. I woke up in my own bed in my own beautiful apartment, surrounded by peace and quiet. I made myself an elaborate breakfast. I video called with friends. I watched movies. I took a long bath. Around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, my doorbell rang. I considered ignoring it, but curiosity won. It was Ethan and Mia standing in the hallway with their father. Surprise, Alex said, weakly. The kids really wanted to see you. We're on our way to Ohio, but we had to stop in Austin to pick up some things, and they insisted. I hope that's okay. Of course, it's okay, I said, ushering them inside. Come in, come in. Mia hugged me immediately, her thin arms wrapping tight around my waist. I missed you, Aunt Sarah. I missed you too, sweetheart. Ethan was more reserved, but he smiled. Nice place. Thanks. Are you guys hungry? I have way too much food. We spent 2 hours together. Alex stayed mostly quiet, letting the kids catch up with me. They told me about their new schools, their friends, their lives. Neither of them mentioned their mother, and I didn't ask. As they were leaving, Mia hugged me again. Are you going to come visit us in Ohio? If your dad says it's okay, I'd love to. It's more than okay, Alex said. They need stable people in their lives. They need to know that family doesn't always come with strings attached. After they left, I sat in my quiet apartment and felt something I hadn't felt in months: hope. My phone buzzed. A text from Mark, my cousin. Just heard through the grapevine what's been going on. Want you to know I'm on your side. Chloe's been pulling this victim act with everyone, but some of us remember who paid for things over the years. You're invited to my family's Christmas if you want actual family time. No judgment, no drama, no strings. I smiled and texted back, maybe next year. This year, I'm exactly where I need to be. Here's what I learned. Being alone is not the same as being a loser. Having money doesn't obligate you to share it with people who don't respect you. And sometimes, the most loving thing you can do for someone is refuse to enable their dysfunction. Chloe texted me 3 weeks later from her own phone, which meant I had to block a new number. Mom kicked me out. I have nowhere to go. I didn't respond. 2 days after that, I got a job. Customer service at a call center. It's not much, but it's something. I didn't respond. A week later, found a studio apartment I can afford. It's tiny and kind of gross, but it's mine. I didn't respond. She stopped texting after that. 6 months later, I ran into my mother at a grocery store. We stared at each other across a display of produce. Both of us frozen. You look well, she said finally. So do you. Chloe is doing better. She's still at the call center. She's been promoted to supervisor. I'm glad to hear it. She asks about you sometimes. What do you tell her? That I don't know, because you don't talk to me anymore either. You chose sides, Mom. You made it clear that my value to this family was financial, not personal. That's not fair, is it? When did you last call me just to see how I was doing? When did you last take my side in an argument? When did you last make me feel like I mattered for something other than my bank account? She looked away. It's not that simple. It really is, though. You can reach out anytime you want to have a real relationship with me. One where I'm your daughter, not Chloe's backup plan. But until then, I'm going to keep living my life without people who only value what I can give them. I walked away, my cart full of groceries, my heart surprisingly light. Sometimes, revenge isn't about destruction. Sometimes, it's about boundaries. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is simply stop participating in your own diminishment. And sometimes, being called a loser by people who need you more than you need them is the wake-up call that changes everything. I'm not welcome at family Christmas anymore, but I've never been happier about where I spend my holidays. And that, more than anything else, tells me I made the right choice. What would you have done?